Here we are at UMC, Utah Motorsports Campus. It's an absolutely amazing facility. The track itself is a really fun track to race.
Great weather, great atmosphere, mountains surrounding the whole track. This track is truly a driver's track. You really got to have the intestinal fortitude to hold the throttle down in some of these corners. You know, you're exiting right against the desert.
Long straights, not so good with the KTM, but truly the long sweeping corners, the fast corners, those have really paid dividends here for us. At the track, sometimes it's crazy busy, and other times you're using the downtime to just prepare yourself mentally.
Andrew, engineering this car, he gives us what we need immediately when we arrive at the track. He knows very little about Utah, and we came here and we were fast right away.
I think we'll find a little bit today. I hear the track's fast, the car's good, and I'm ready. Let's see what happens. I heard there was records broken in other classes. That just said, you know, I had to get out there and do my thing. First couple laps weren't what I wanted them to be, but by lap 3 and 4, we were doing what I needed to do. A little communication with the engineer, and basically we brought it in with lap time, and they put me in P7, I believe, coming in. There was a couple little bobbles here, so I didn't really string together the ultimate lap, but again, I'm still happy with the P7 out of this group of guys.
Qualifying is the toughest part of auto racing because it makes or breaks you. First lap, warmed the tires up, was really confident. It felt great. You know, everything was slowing down. The shifts were easy. The brake zones were accurate. Second lap, I came in and didn't go out again, and it shook out that I was in 6th place. I'm not apprehensive going door to door with any of my competitors out there for this race. I really am confident that it's going to be a good, clean race. These cars have got it to win today. I was early to the throttle and nobody left me. And with the confidence of the tires, I just didn't let off throttle. I knew that I could outbrake them. With a great start, I was quickly getting up to 3rd place.
I heard someone say later on, you know, we went into turn 1 4 wide. I found a nice inside line. Coming out of 1, I think I found myself in P4.
Just keeping the pressure on, just being predictable, carrying more speed into corner 5.
Obviously after 1, 2, 3, everything sort of thinned out a little bit, and you know, we just settled into a nice groove after the first lap, really. Worked my way into 3, pulled away from P4. I knew I had pace even on the car in P2.
Corner 5 was the place to pass them. Drove right to the front after I got by both of them. Ultimately, a yellow came out, so we stacked back up. I was a little nervous about the restart, but I just kept reverting back to the fact that I drove away from these guys. They had tons of marbles on the tires. The first lap was pretty precarious. Somehow, I drove just hard enough, kept the car on track to keep the competition behind me, except for 2 competitors. So I bided my time and just raced them clean and got by them when I could.
I don't know how, and I don't know what happened. My car picked up a bunch of junk, long and short. Coming out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically I just couldn't hang on to the car. You know, I basically sat in the car doing all I could, but ultimately watching positions 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 go by me. A couple more laps later, I was battling with Lawson and ended up running into the back of the Camaro. I had to come into the pits. The boys fixed us all up and put me back out. Some other guys checked out of the race, so ultimately I ended up being P10.
Without anybody in front of me, you know, I was cool and methodical. My thoughts were calm, and I just basically kept repeating the same lap over and over again. With about 3 laps left to go, it overwhelmed me. I focused again, and with about 100 feet coming out of the last corner, I started to cry. I thought, geez, this is it. Just won my first pro race. Tears coming across the finish line. Everything entered my mind. How can you leave out Andrew? We've come so far in my development, And it's all because of him. Doesn't do it for money, does it for love. And everything that he's ever said has always come true. It's just you have to get your mind around how tough it actually is to do this, and it didn't. Standing start today, that's always a variable. A lot of hungry Barracudas behind us.
I was sitting in P3, pretty comfortable with the standing start on this particular vehicle. Sat there in the red line, 7200, waiting for the lights to go out, and bang, it just stalled on me. The worst part was, Anthony, who's sitting in P1 right in front of me, he did the same thing.
So essentially, Martin and I started first and third, but because of the stall, we commenced competition in second last and last place. You just hit your marks, drive as fast as you can, as conservatively as you can, save the tires, but start reeling your competition in. Got by Martin, I got by Tony Gaples, and set my sights on everybody in front of me.
I got up behind one of the Camaros, and I had to fight with Tony Gaples for quite a while. We ended up with a little bit of contact and worked my way up through, and then eventually found Mark Clennon in his Maserati. Took me a long time to get by Mark. He drove a great aggressive race and did a great job slowing me down in the brake zones, which was where I really was the only place I had him. I could see Anthony and a couple of the guys up there, and I just buckled down and found my way up there.
There was some contact between two cars in front of me. It was probably millimeters in front of the car. After that accident, I found myself right behind Lawson Ostrenbach in the Camaro. He felt like he should be blocking me today, and roughed him up a little bit and let him know that we weren't going to take any of that stuff. Martin was right behind me or two back.
2/3 of the way through the race, coming from 16th to P8, and I got the white flag going into the last lap, and I saw Anthony battling with Lawson in his Camaro, doing everything he could to defend his position, we'll say. Those two got into a little bit of a shoving match, and you know what? Being in the right place at the right time, I saw an opportunity, and I ducked inside both those guys.
Martin threw the car in and picked up two positions while we were battling, and finished sixth while I finished eighth.
Tip my hat one more time to the team, to the series, to the competitors. Great race weekend here at UMC. Can't wait to get to Sonoma.
The car is great. The team is spectacular. The race venue is second to none. Today, even though we finished eighth, today was a win.